Aloha, it's Kiana, and here are today's top Hawaii headlines from the editors at the Honolulu Star-Advertiser. Also, huge mahalo to Longstrugs Hawaii for sponsoring the show. Head on over to your neighborhood Longstrugs for all your shopping needs. R. Kelly was sentenced to 30 years in prison today for using his fame to subject young fans, including children, to systematic sexual abuse. The 55-year-old singer and songwriter was convicted of racketeering and sex trafficking last year. Allegations about Kelly's abuse of young girls began to circulate in the 1990s, though he continued to sell millions of albums and enjoy support from fans. That changed with the Me Too movement and the release of the docuseries Surviving R. Kelly. A Brooklyn federal court jury convicted Kelly after hearing testimony that he used his entourage to meet girls and keep them under his control. Prosecutors said the actions amounted to a criminal enterprise. Kelly has denied any wrongdoing and his lawyers have portrayed his accusers as girlfriends and groupies. Kelly has been in jail since 2019. He still faces child pornography and obstruction of justice charges in Chicago. The Hawaii Department of Health today reported 15 new coronavirus-related deaths and 5,362 new COVID-19 infections over the previous week. Hawaii's COVID-19 death toll stands at 1,504, while health officials have recorded 308,695 cases since the start of the pandemic. The 7-day average of new cases decreased for the third week in a row, with a reported 685 cases today, down from 832 cases on June 22nd. The state's average positivity rate also decreased for the third week in a row, declining from 17.1% last week to 16.5% on June 27th. By island, there were 3,783 new infections reported on Oahu, 578 on Hawaii Island, 613 on Maui, 254 on Kauai, 10 on Molokai, and 1 on Lanai. Another 123 infections were reported outside the state. A former city building plans examiner has been sentenced to 2.5 years in prison and 2 years of supervised release for taking bribes. 72-year-old Jenny Javanillo was also ordered to pay a $5,000 fine. A judge previously ordered her to forfeit $58,000 to the government as part of a plea deal. In January, Javanillo pleaded guilty to 1 count of honest services wire fraud. In exchange, the government dropped 2 identical charges. Javanillo was indicted in March 2021 for soliciting and taking bribes in exchange for expediting project approvals ahead of other applications. She then laundered the cash by using the money to pay down store credit cards. Former Department of Planning and Permitting Building Plans examiner Wayne Inouye and Kanani Pedikin, former building inspector Jason Dadez, and current employee Jocelyn Godoy also face charges in the corruption bust. Hawaii's small businesses are feeling the pinch amid rising overhead costs and staffing shortages. One casualty is Dean's Drive-In in Kaneohe. Owners Dean Mishima and his wife Dee are closing up shop on July 10th after being in business for 16 years. Mishima cites supply shortages and costs as main factors in the decision. Ryan Tanaka is a board member of the Hawaii Restaurant Association. He said many restaurants in Hawaii are facing a perfect storm of challenges, with businesses struggling to make up for back rent and dealing with staffing issues. Earlier this month, Uncle Clay's House of Pure Aloha warned customers that shave ice availability would be limited due to an ice block shortage. The dessert shop is relying partially on vendors as it awaits delivery of a new ice freezer, which has been delayed for weeks. And last month, Ted's Bakery closed down wholesale operations due to supply chain issues. Staffing is also a problem, and it isn't clear why businesses can't find help despite a wage hike. Hawaii surfer Carissa Moore added a win to her 2022 World Surf League Championship Tour season on Tuesday. Moore captured the Oi Rio Pro in Brazil to mark her 25th career championship tour victory. The current world #1 surfer and 5-time WSL champion came into the event with 3 second-place finishes this season. Moore surfed 6 waves in the final round, scoring 15.43. On her final wave, she blasted consecutive backside hacks to turn in a women's division event best 9.50. Dufay placed second with a score of 12.33. With the win, Moore clinches a spot in the WSL Final 5 and extends her lead in the rankings over Johanne Dufay of France, Lakey Peterson of the United States, and Stephanie Gilmore of Australia. Moore will now turn her focus to another world title run at the Rip Curl WSL Finals at Lower Trestles in September. For more on these stories and all the latest headlines, subscribe to the Honolulu Star-Advertiser. Visit Hawaii's top source for breaking news online at staradvertiser.com and download the Star-Advertiser mobile app. Mahalo, have a great day, and we'll see you back here tomorrow.